Mega Man as a series isn't really something that I've played that much. I own multiple Legacy collections, but haven't played all the games and don't remember the games that I have played. But with all that said, a few years ago when I found out about a little fan game known as Mega Maker, I immediately wanted to try it out. I used to play it a lot, but haven't played it in a while, so I wanted to give it another shot and see if I can make a good Mega Man level. So without any further ado, let's dive straight in. Okay, what's the first step in making a Mega Man level? Well, watch a Game Maker Toolkit's video on Mega Man design. Okay, with that over with, we can actually start planning a level. Because before you start making the level, you actually need to make the blueprints. I started by going over every single boss, since the boss usually sets the theme of the level. I fought every single boss in the game, one by one. It took forever. I did set their weakness to be Mega Man's main blaster, because it wouldn't take as long, but it still took a while. Any boss I thought I'd like, I'd add to my favorites, and then just keep going. After I fought every single one, I had a decent list of bosses. But Pharaoh Man really caught my eye, since it means that he could have a pyramid stage with traps. I also thought that Stone Man matched him really well, and I could use him as a mini-boss or something. I also contemplating having a secret boss with Splash Woman, but decided against it. And now, with the boss selected, it's time to go through each and every object and choose what fits the theme of the level. Well, that's gonna take a while. I picked a lot of things that I thought would fit either in the desert, or in the pyramid, or just be a booby trap. I also threw in some drills to make it look like they were digging, because I thought maybe the lore of the stage was that Dr. Wily just discovered it, and then tried to dig an entrance to it or something. I don't know, that's what I thought. After that, I went on to enemies. This takes forever. But after all of them, I went to test each and every weapon. I'm wasting so much time here. But in the weapons, I did find a few I liked, like this awesome grappling mechanic that feels perfect and level about exploring a pyramid. I also thought this falling block ability was fun and could be used as a reward for defeating Stone Man. Now, I was finally ready to start the level, right after I found some good blocks to use. Okay, so now I have some blocks for the outside, the inside, and for deeper inside. I also had some spikes because, of course I do, and some caution blocks that I thought I could use at the beginning. Then, I finally started continuing to plan the level. I laid out some temporary blocks to just show how I wanted each room to be laid out, occasionally placing enemies or objects to note what rooms I wanted them in. I went a short ways, but then the level just started to feel very empty, because obviously I haven't really made it yet. But I wanted to fill it out a bit more, so I decided to go back and make the beginning of the level. So speaking of the beginning, I thought it'd be cool if you got stuck and had to explore to find a grappling hook hidden under the sand. That way you'd actually feel like an explorer, like Indiana Jones or something. I don't know. But one problem I had was I had to make it obvious that you had to fall into the sand pit, because no one's going to assume that they want to die, and this obviously looks like they're going to die if they jump in. So I tried to make it obvious that you're supposed to go down there by both adding a hole at the bottom and adding these wheel things, which I hope did the trick. But down there, there's the sword section where you get used to the grapple before looping back around and going into the pyramid. Now, after you go into the pyramid, I used mostly this stone block to build the walls, but occasionally added cracks to make it look like either it's falling apart or Wily is digging into it. I also added these interesting hieroglyphs every once in a while because why not? In the pyramid, the first challenge I added was this short grappling section where you have to loop back around to press a button to open a door. Afterwards, I wanted to start introducing hazards, like this spiky platform that requires you to hit it from the bottom to turn it back over, and then you're allowed to jump on top of it to get out. But note that I had it start upside down because I wanted you to learn that you can turn them over by hitting them on the bottom. I really wanted you to know that before progressing because I didn't want you to be confused later. These turning platforms also made me start thinking of one-way doors. Like on one side is a spike and you can't get through, but the other side is flat and you can hit it and it'll flip over. However, you can still turn them from the spike side, so I guess that wouldn't work, so I just scrapped it. From there, I introduced more traps, enemies, and used them at the same time, you know, to try to progress in difficulty or something. I tried having the challenges get harder and harder, and occasionally threw in some grappling points every once in a while because they're fun. After a while, I decided it was about time to add the mini-boss. I sectioned off a room, added one by interest, and set up the boss. And in Mega Man, when you defeat a boss, you usually get a power-up, so I decided, hey, why don't I have that here too? So I added that stone ability that I mentioned before. And after the boss, I added a short room where you can just test it out because it's cool. However, here is where the whole thing changes. I added a drop where these yellow stone blocks turn into a more orange hieroglyph block, just to make it look more interesting, and make it seem like you're actually going deeper into the pyramid. After that, we move on to the second half of the stage. First, I repeated some of the themes of the previous rooms, only now harder. But for the last challenge, I decided to add a firewall that chases you through an obstacle course that combines every mechanic that I've used. It even ends with a long grappling string, which is just fun. After that, there's a small drop, and then you get to the final checkpoint. Finally, I added the final boss. I had made him blink to these falling blocks in case you had saved any. I did try to make the room more interesting with grappling points or other objects, but it wasn't working. So I just went with the plain room because it worked the best. After that, it's just bug fixing, small tweaks, and add some music. I ended up using both Pharaoh Man and Stone Man's music, along with Crash Man's theme, since I like it a lot, along with a few more. I also thought this boomerang attack felt like an adventure and thus would be great in this stage. So I made it the default weapon. Oh, and then I replayed the stage like 5 times to make sure there's still balance and everything. And yeah, it's still fun. But now the level is completely finished, and it's time to upload. One last play test to prove it's beatable, and I'm all done. Here's the code of my level if you want to check it out. And if you haven't, check out Mega Maker, it's pretty cool. Especially if you like making games. This was a lot of fun. But with all that said, I have nothing else to say. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye. Hi, how are you? I need to get out. I don't know how long I've been recording this, but it's really hot. I'm recording in the attic, and it's really hot, and I want to get out. Why? don't know what else to do. What else? I was gonna say. I've started college. I've said that in like the last 3 videos, or last 2 videos. This is the 3rd. It's fine. I've already said that before. Anyway, goodbye.